a poor woman from the slums of Paris rose to become the most powerful woman in France, capturing the heart of the king and outsmarting the queen herself. Jeanne was born into poverty and had little hope of rising above her station. However, from a young age, she possessed an extraordinary beauty that set her apart. It wasn't long before her striking looks caught the attention of wealthy men. As a teenager, she worked in a high-end beauty salon, where she learned the art of charm and seduction. Her real transformation, however, began when she was introduced to Jean-Baptiste du Barry, a cunning and well-connected man who made his fortune as a matchmaker for wealthy nobles. Jean-Baptiste saw something special in Jeanne, more than just beauty. He saw potential. He trained her in courtly manners and secured her a new noble identity, allowing her to climb the social ladder. But despite this transformation, many in Versailles saw through her origins and mocked her as an up-jumped courtesan, a woman who owed her status not to birthright but to charm. Still, Jeanne was undeterred. When she finally entered the royal court, she quickly caught the eye of King Louis XV, who was instantly captivated by her irresistible charm. Their relationship soon evolved into something much more significant, and before long, she was no longer just a passing fancy. She became the official mistress of the King of France, a role that gave her immense power. At court, Madame du Barry was both admired and despised. The courtiers whispered about her past, ridiculing her rise from commoner to the king's favorite. Yet, despite their mockery, she wielded real influence. She wasn't just a beautiful woman. She was sharp, manipulative, and knew exactly how to play the game of court intrigue. But in Versailles, power always attracts enemies. Her greatest rival was Marie Antoinette, the new queen, who viewed du Barry as nothing more than an embarrassment to the crown. The rivalry between the two women became legendary. Marie Antoinette, born into royalty, despised the idea that a former courtesan could hold such influence over the king. Meanwhile, Madame du Barry refused to be dismissed, using her charm and wit to maintain her status. For a while, she seemed untouchable. Her life became one of excess and luxury. Extravagant gowns, sparkling jewels, lavish feasts, and endless indulgence. The king adored her, and as long as he lived, her place was secure. But no reign lasts forever. When King Louis XV died in 1774, everything changed. His grandson, Louis XVI, took the throne, and unlike his grandfather, he had no interest in Madame du Barry or her influence. Marie Antoinette, now Queen of France, seized the opportunity to banish her rival from Versailles. Jeanne was exiled to a convent, stripped of her power, and forced into a quieter life. For a time, she lived in relative peace, away from the politics of the court. But the world outside Versailles was changing. The French Revolution erupted, and her past as the king's mistress, once a position of privilege, now marked her as an enemy of the people. The very extravagance that once made her beloved now made her a target. As revolutionary chaos spread across France, Madame du Barry's enemies finally had their revenge. She was accused of treason, arrested, and sentenced to death. On the eve of her execution, she begged for mercy, pleading with her captors to spare her life. But the revolution had no sympathy for former symbols of aristocratic excess. On December 8, 1793, Madame du Barry was led to the guillotine. Her final words were desperate. "Just one more moment, sir, please." But there was no mercy left for the former queen of indulgence. She climbed to the very top, only to be dragged down by the same forces that once lifted her up. For more incredible stories of history's most fascinating figures, subscribe to Heavenly Stories.